What is up, everybody? This is the Wolfpack times 5. Today I'm going to be talking about my birth story with Ace. We have given you guys like a little sneak peeks of his little arm rolls and stuff, and we haven't really talked much about our experience with our labor with him, like, at all. So this is a really exciting video that I'm excited to share with you guys, and then soon you guys can see his little sweet face. Anyway, I woke up on July 13th. I woke up in the morning, and usually I would wake up to Ace like kicking around and forcing me to wake up, being very, very uncomfortable. So I woke up with no kicking. I thought that that was really weird. I was like really concerned. Like right off the bat, I kind of woke up like tripping. So I had woke Elijah up and I told him, I'm like, Ace is not kicking. I feel worried. I don't know what to do. And he like immediately just tried to calm me down, because when I'm telling y'all that I like really woke up tripping right off the bat, I was like, take me to the hospital right now. I was not having it. And so I just kept trying to tell him, like, no, something's wrong. I feel it. I know something's wrong. So I had him grab me a glass of ice water to drink. To drink. But I had him bring me a glass of ice water. I drank it, like a few minutes went by, still nothing. I put the glass of ice water on my stomach and still nothing. So I was like, nope. We're leaving right now. Like, we got to go to the hospital. Mind you, I was supposed to deliver at a birthing center. So my youngest, I delivered naturally, not my oldest. I was really, really young with Vonnie when I had her. So I was kind of just like, I was like, you know, I knew I was going to get an epidural. I honestly probably didn't even know that you possibly could go natural. I just thought that was part of the process. But with my youngest daughter and with Ace, my goal was to go naturally. I accomplished that with Sai. I was going to accomplish it again with him. But I wanted to have that birthing center experience again. So I immediately was just super paranoid, because I was only 35 weeks. So we were driving to the hospital. We were parked in the parking garage at the hospital, and I had this feeling. I was like, don't go into the hospital, like, because it's all the COVID stuff. So I was like, if I can avoid going into a nasty hospital, then I'm gonna do so. So I called the midwives, the birthing center, and they're like, come in, we'll get you all hooked up, we'll make sure that he's doing good, and if not, we'll take it from there. So we drove to the birthing center. We left the hospital. I didn't even go in. So we pulled up to the birthing center. I was only able to go in because of the COVID stuff. Elijah had Sai, so they couldn't both go in with me. I was all plugged up to the little monitor things. I was sitting there and I was uncomfortable, but that wasn't not normal for my pregnancy. Like, I always had contractions, and I always just kind of like, you know, brushed them off because they called it an irritable uterus. So I didn't think anything of it, honestly. I was just like, whatever, you know, I'm uncomfortable, that's normal. Then the nurse came in, like literally a whole hour went by, and I was like, by this time he was moving. So I was like, fine, but I feel him moving. When are they gonna let me go home? And the nurse comes in finally, and she's like not even talking to me. She was just like looking at the paper that was like being printed out from the machine, and she like just looks and it's like, and then another nurse comes in, and they're both looking together, and they're still like kind of whispering, and like tried to listen in and see what they were talking about, but I couldn't hear. And then a doctor comes in, or a midwife comes in with the two nurses, and the midwife is like, Mamiicedes, I cannot send you home comfortably with these kind of contractions you're having. She was like, you're contracting every 2 to 5 minutes. So immediately I just broke down. I was like, no, like, I'm only 35 weeks. She tried to just calm me down, and she was like, you know, this could be a false alarm, but just in case, so you don't have a baby on us and we're not prepared for a 35-weeker baby, you do need to go to the hospital. You know, it's right down the street, blah, blah, blah. But the hospital for the midwives down the street, the midwives had privileges at, so the midwife on call was gonna meet me at the hospital. So that was amazing. That was like one of the things that I loved about my birthing center, is that if you did have to be transferred out, they were still like along you with your journey. They were like so amazing. I loved my birthing center. So I'm on my way to the birthing center. Elijah had to drop me off, or to the hospital. I'm on my way to the hospital. Elijah had to drop me off because he had our youngest, and like I said, you can't go in with all this COVID stuff with more than one person. So he had to go drop our youngest daughter, Sai, off with my mom, and then he was gonna bring me back. So mind you, I'm only 35 weeks. So they had told me that they were gonna give me 2 injections when I got up to the triage room. One of them was to try and stop my contractions, and then hopefully would have been successful with that. And then the other one was to mature his lungs, if he could have waited just a little bit longer. Neither of those worked. And mind you, that shot that they give you to try and stop your contractions is horrible. It makes you feel like crap. So I'm in there by myself, like just feeling horrible, contracting, all that stuff. And then finally Elijah pulled up, and our midwife literally pulled up like 10 minutes after he got there. And she comes in and she's like, all right guys, we're gonna have a baby. And me and him are looking at each other like, no, we are not ready for this. And then she kind of just broke it down to us that the shot didn't work. He's coming. There's nothing that we could do anymore besides let him come. So he is taking his sweet time, I feel like, because both of my labors with Sai and Vani were really, really short. So that's what we're expecting. We're expecting to catch a baby within like a few hours, because Sai came in 2 hours, Vani came in 5. So especially being not that far along, we were expecting him to come like really fast, and he had a different idea. And so I was admitted finally to like the actual labor and delivery room. They were able to let me like kind of be monitored. It was like a portable monitor, so I didn't have to stay on the bed, which was amazing. That helped me so much, because I would have been pissed if I had to be bed bound. So I was walking around. I tried the yoga ball. I bounced on that. Elijah, you know, was helping me walk and just kind of like leaning on him. And mind you, I was gonna go natural. I told myself I'm going natural again, like I got this. I tried not to even think about the epidural, and I think that helped me like so much, because I just tried to like zone out and almost think like it's not even an option. That's like what really helps me, honestly. But it was really hard being in the hospital and knowing it was so accessible that I could have easily just been like, give me that epidural. With Sai, it wasn't like that. At the birthing center, if I wanted an epidural, I had to be transferred out to a hospital to get that, and her labor being only 2 hours, I probably would have had no time for one. So I was like a lot of mental preparation, all within this short time frame, because like I said, we weren't expecting to have him soon, and definitely not in a hospital. So I just, you know, was trying to talk to myself and did a lot of mental affirmation. It was rough. I think it was the hardest labor that I've had, and I don't like to call contractions painful. I like to call them intense, because that's exactly what they are. I tried everything that I knew that would help me, but it was just so different than the labor that I had with the girls. Any mom who has a baby, whether it's epidural, whether it's C-section, whether it's natural, you guys are freaking rock stars, because it is literally the hardest thing in the entire world that you could possibly do. Like, there is not in this world that can compare to a woman giving birth. My most comfortable positions were sitting on the toilet, like sitting backwards and just kind of like bearing down and trying not to tense up. I was able to get in the shower because the portable one was waterproof, so that was freaking awesome. So I like labored in the shower and stuff like that. Since I'm only 35 weeks pregnant, when you go into labor, they can't help you progress. So they can't break your water, they can't give you Pitocin, they can't do anything like that. They can just let the baby come safely. As long as everything is good, then they don't interfere. I knew deep down that if they broke my water, I would, like, he would come fast. I knew if they broke my water, he would be here. Like, I could feel it. I felt pressure. I was exhausted at this point. Hours went by, and I remember I had so much pressure, and I kept telling my midwife, I feel like he's about to fall out of me. So she was like, let me just check you one more time. And she could see my water bag just bulging. So she had said, let's just try some squats, some low squats, and then just sit there in a sitting squat position, and we'll see if that can help, like, some of the pressure will leave, hopefully break your water and stuff like that. So we tried that a few times. That didn't help at all. Like, literally, I think I have water bags of steel. My water bags would probably never break on their own. Like with Sai, my water bag didn't break until she came out. She almost was born in her water bag. I knew that once it was broken, everything would have been so much faster. So my midwife disappeared for like 30 minutes while I was laboring, and she came back finally. I was just so out of it. She had broke my water for me. I'm pretty sure she went out there and she was like, I'm breaking this mom's water right now. So I'm pretty sure she advocated for me, because that's what I wanted so bad. So she went out there, she came back in, broke my water. Literally within those like 30 minutes after her breaking my water, he came. It just happened so fast after that. I knew that that was gonna happen. And once she broke my water, I like felt such a relief. I felt so much better. The pressure was gone for like 15 minutes, and then of course I delivered a damn baby. Things just felt so much faster. When I was pushing him out, I wasn't gonna give up on getting an epidural until I was getting ready to push. Like, I had to bear down for the little bit of strength that I had left to push him out because I was exhausted at that point. Mid contractions, I was like falling asleep. I was done. And then I remember like I was kind of in and out of it. Like I could kind of barely remember pushing him out. All I remember is hearing Vonnie and Tai Sai's name because Elijah whispered it in my ear. And after hearing that, I think that was the strength that I needed to push him out. And I bared down and I got him out in that last push. Literally right after he told me that, I don't remember what he said. I just remember Vonnie and Tai Sai. Once he said that, I bared down and I pushed him out and they put him on my chest. Like I said, he was only 35 weeks, so it kind of took him a little bit to breathe. That was like really scary. But he did breathe after like 30 seconds. So it all feels like time is just like going by so slow. So I was so worried. He started crying finally. And then like the NICU nurse had told us, like when we first got there, she was warning us about like the complications that could happen with 35 weekers. And he did have one of the complications, which was breathing. He couldn't really breathe on his own. But it was amazing because the nurse let him lay on top of me while she was working with him. So he wasn't taken away from me right away, which a lot of moms, that does happen, especially with premature babies. So that like helped a lot, I think, because I would have been torn if he just got taken from me immediately. But she was trying to help him, but he did need extra help. So he went to the NICU and Elijah followed him, and then I was just there like hurry up, okay, help me out so I can go to the NICU and see my baby, help me push out this placenta, whatever. But then finally I went back to the NICU to actually meet my son. You don't know strength like having to get up out that hospital bed right away, just wanting to see your baby, making sure that your baby's okay. I think I got a total of maybe 10 hours of sleep the whole 6 days of being at the hospital. I was just pumping. I was running to the NICU, giving them my milk, holding him. I tried every second that I was able to hold him. He went through so many pokes on his little feet. He had a feeding tube, the breathing. Thankfully, he didn't need the breathing stuff for long. I think he only needed it for not even a day. But then like it was like one thing after another, and it was like really hard for me. I can't even imagine what those moms go through who are in the NICU for months. I was losing it for 6 days. I was so depressed. But what really got me through it was telling myself that my situation could be so much worse. So I need to be grateful. I need to let him progress on his own time. And then finally, after 6 days, they let him go home. After complication after complication with his breathing, he needed to eat right. Then he had a feeding tube, and he had to get the feeding tube out. Then he needed to eat a certain amount. Then his blood sugar levels were too low, so we had to make those go up. I felt defeated almost every single day. And then finally, when I got that phone call that my baby could come home and meet his sisters, it's like everything was so worth it. Everything that we went through in there, having him at 35 weeks, it's like everything happened for a reason. And I could not imagine my birth story happening any other way. I felt like I was gonna have him soon. I remember saying the day before I had him, I was like, I feel like he's gonna come soon, but I just hope that he waits till 37 weeks because that's when I could have him at the birthing center. But he you know, wanted to come on his own time. He wanted to come meet mommy and his sisters and his daddy, and he was ready. But my birth story was wild and the craziest labor I've had. It definitely made me more humble in that type of situation with laboring moms. I remember with Sai, I would kind of talk about like, oh, you guys got this, like you can do it naturally, and you know, if you have the right mindset. But it's tough. Like those contractions are so intense, and I think I needed to be humbled with my situation. I needed to be humbled that not everything works out the way that you wanted to. Like I didn't get my birthing center birth again. I had to deliver in a hospital. He came prematurely. You know, I was on the verge of asking for an epidural. I was ready for them to knock me out and put me in a C-section. I was tired, but I still pushed through. And I think it humbles me so much more, and I'm able to relate so much more with moms who were exhausted, because I never really reached that point with my daughters in labor. I never really reached like an exhaustion point like I did with him. So I think it's amazing that I got to go through what I did, and that my baby boy is healthy. And yeah, that is my birth story, guys, and I'm so happy that I finally get to share it with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this little video that I'm gonna clip after this. So enjoy, guys. Bye. Make sure you subscribe.
What's going on, y'all? Baby might be coming. Crazy, I know I keep saying it, I just can't believe it.
These are pretty brutally consistent.
Yeah, and I tried to stop them, and they said no.
We tried.
So.
And then, yeah, her uterus said no, thank you. We're doing
That's what I said. Trying to get out and play.
Yeah.
You have a history of going fast, and this baby is probably smaller than your other babies, so it could be even a little quicker. We'll see.
Okay.
It's okay, Shug. You'll be okay. Yo, baby over here going crazy. So her rate is 142. It's okay, baby. You're looking good. Sexiest pregnant woman I ever seen. You need chopstick. Got some in the car.
Okay, give us another push. There you go. As close as you can.
Lean in so we can see your face.
All right, here we go. You excited?
Yes. I'm ready.
Me too.
So ready.
Sunny's son coming home today. It's a good day. Beautiful, blessed. Enjoy it. Huh?
I'm so excited.